Today we will set 4mm and 2mm CZs in dry silver clay. First we need to determine the correct height for the setting of our stone. For this, wipe over the stone between different heights of spacers. If the stone moves, the height is too low. If it doesn't move, we have the correct height. In this case, 3mm is the way to go. I roll out the clay to 3mm and cut out circles for the settings. The size should be 1mm wider than the stone. With the dotting tool, I create tiny deepenings in the center and then put the setting to dry. For the small settings, I roll the clay out to 3mm and cut out circles of 3.5mm. In the middle, I cut out a hole of 1.5mm and put the settings to dry. To create the ring shank, we also need to determine the correct size. I want to make a ring for my index finger. I take a reference ring that fits on my index and middle finger. On my step mandrel, it's a size 17.5. With my ring sizer, it's also a 17.5. 18 is slightly too big. To get the correct size, I add 2.5 sizes on top in accountants for shrinkage. I brought a lovely Wormfern leaf from my garden, which we will use for the shank. Look at the wonderful spores in 2 rows. Nature is so clever. This way, ferns have survived multiple extinctions on this planet for 400 million years. We could also make a nice adjustable ring or a crown ring in a V shape. I will go with the crown ring. I glue the leaves together with some tape. This makes the handling much easier. Then let's roll out the clay. We need a long sausage of it to press the leaves in. I roll it first into a long shape between my fingers. Then I roll it down to 2mm. Afterwards, I transfer it on my texture plate. Press the fern leaves in and roll it down to 1.5mm. Then I cut it out with a blade and transfer it onto my mandrel. I join the ends to a V shape with water. Then I put it aside to dry. Time to proceed with our settings. They are dry now and I'm bringing them into shape with sanding paper grit 800. After this is done, we need to drill a hole for our setting. I start with my smallest drill of 0.6mm and work myself up to 2.2mm for the big setting. The tiny setting already has holes and will not be drilled. For the big setting, I'm creating a seat for my stone with a 4mm stone setting burr. Work down slowly without pressure. At the end, the stones should sit in it evenly with a tiny border around it. It's important that the border exceeds the girdle of the stone, otherwise the stone will be pushed out when firing and shrinking takes place. We do it the same way for the small stones. Here I used a 2mm setting burr and destroyed my first setting. It's really delicate, that's why I prepared 3 of them. Let's refine the ring shank now. I work out each individual lobe with sanding paper, grit 600 and 800. At the end, we make everything really smooth with a damp paintbrush. After the ring has dried again, we can finally join ring and setting. For this, I use a tiny bit of syringe clay. You could also use thick paste. Smudge it into the V shape and carefully press the setting into the V. Then we repeat the same for our small settings on each side. Afterwards, it needs to dry. Then we can smooth the joints of the setting with a damp brush that it integrates nicely into the V. After drying one last time, I give it some final touches with sanding paper grit 1200. Yay, we can finally insert our stones. Make sure they sit evenly and leveled in the seat we created. If they slide in the wrong way, carefully push it out from the other side and repeat. It's easiest to do with a wax stick, but not necessary. Finally, time to fire our lovely piece. After the binder has burned off, I start my timer for 10 minutes and fire my piece maintaining a peachy glow, not yellow or red. After a while, I turn the ring around to give the stones more protection. Let it cool down after firing and don't quench, because that may destroy the stones. Now it looks like this. Brushing with a soft brass brush reveals the silver. This is always a magic moment for me. I also polish the ring with my radial discs and burnish around the setting for a high shine. This is the finished ring, and I also sneaked in a flash setting, which I show you in another video. Most people are so focused on the outside that they forget the inside. That's why I texture everything from the inside, and I also love to have a stone on the inside that can give me sparkle when I don't feel well and reminds me that true beauty always shines from within first. For me, the fern also symbolizes endurance and strength, since it has survived 400 million years on Earth. This has now been preserved in pure 999 silver. If you liked my video, please give me your thumbs up and subscribe. My stone setting series will continue in the next video. Have a nice day and see you next time on Aconitune.